My name's Steve Darcy with GoEngineer. I've been doing CAD, SOLIDWORKS stuff since the early 2000s, and today we get to play with the new S3. We're going to kind of benchmark it against the old 2403. It's a 3-year-old system. They've sold thousands of them. Expect to sell thousands more of this S3 system. So let's see how it benchmarks. All right, so here we are. We're going to try and open up an assembly. We'll see what the speed difference is between the two. The last time I opened this assembly was on a Microsoft Surface, Surface 3, and it took a little bit over a minute. So you'll get to see that time frame. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, open. So there's a little box is open with 2018, tells us that it took a minute, 4 seconds to open last time. On left we have the S3, and we have the 3-year-old system over here on the right. You can see the S3 is already done at about 10 seconds, and the 2403 took about 14 seconds to complete. So one of the things that takes up a lot of time is, of course, rebooting your computer, because on occasion we have to do that. So I'm going to try and click these as best possible I can. So we're going to do restart, ready, 3, 2, 1, and we'll see how long these guys take. So it looks like the 2403 kind of shut down quicker. He's booting back up. And it looks like the S3 is already up. So S3 wins. So in electrical, it's pretty taxing doing some of the 3D wiring. You can kind of see I've got a project open and the schematic is already set. The from to is actually saved back in a little SQL database. And so we're going to go into 3D and we'll see how it wires all that stuff up on the 3D side. So I'm going to start up with the top level assembly. I'm going to try and open these up at the exact same time so you guys can get a real view look of this. So here we go, ready. There we go. So hopefully I hit those pretty close to about the same amount of time. And again, the S3 is on the left and the older BOXX Apex 2 2403 is on the right. So the assembly has about 383 components in it. And the S3 is already up and going. Alright, now in this, we'll let the older machine keep on going. We're going to open up one of these sub-assemblies. So I'll just open that guy up and kind of separate and get him ready. Get this config going. So I already have a lot of the 2D components placed into 3D. And so what we're going to do is we're going to wire up this box. So the S3 is already going. You can see that took considerably longer amount of time. So again, we'll kind of preset this guy up. There we go. Got our components and everything in there. And we're just going to do route wires. And let me make sure all components selected. We're doing splines. I'm going to do this as a SOLIDWORKS route. That's the way it actually gives us the 3D route on each of the wires and the wire thicknesses and colors. And let me make sure everything's set correctly. 50, 500, and 0.5. Looks good. And we'll say 3, 2, 1. And this will take a considerable amount of time, as it's got to go back to the SQL database, get the from to list, and then I'll try and move this guy out of the way. You can kind of see it actually creating the wires on the fly. It already knows from the 2D side where the wires come from, where they go to. So we just let it do its thing. And it looks like the S3 is done. You can kind of turn off some of the 3D sketches there. So you can see the colors of the wires and everything. That looks pretty good. Looks like the 2403 is done. Just kind of do the same thing. So you can see pretty much the S3 wins the race for SOLIDWORKS Electrical. So if any of you have been through the SOLIDWORKS Flow courseware or any of the training stuff, this is one of the models that we first start out with. So just kind of give you a bit of an overview. Is we have an inlet where the flow is actually coming in, and then we have 6 different pressure outlets going to environmental pressure. We also have a little some goals on the flow rate, so it's going to calculate and save those kind of in the background. So I've got them both set up. So we're going to take a look at how fast flow analysis uses multiple processors. So we're going to go ahead and run these. I'm going to try and hit them at the same time. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. And we're going to go ahead and pull up the task manager. Going to put him on the side. Go. And I'm not really worried about the memory. I do have 32 gigs on the right hand side, 64 on the left, but we're not even maxing that out, so that's not going to change anything. What I do want to look at is the CPUs. So I do want you to notice that on the right hand side, it's an i7, and it's a 4-core, and on the left we are using a 6-core. Alright, so both of them is finished. We can look at the CPU time. Took 21 seconds on the left. On the right, took 27 seconds. So a little bit faster on the left. So you can go ahead and close out of that. And of course, the coolest thing is to look at the cut plots on here. And we can animate the little cut plots. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on this comparison between the 2403, the 3-year-old machine, and the new S3, brand new machine. And hopefully you saw some really good time savings. You saw the flow analysis. We were pretty much solving stuff a minute faster. So if you were, and that was a very small assembly. If we were doing something a lot larger, then you're looking at, 2, 3. If you ran that assembly for 6, depending on the mesh size, 6 hours, you're actually saving a considerable amount of time versus the old 3-year-old system. Earlier we looked at some of the open times with the assemblies, and the old system opened them in about 14 seconds, while the new system was about 11 seconds. So you may think, oh, that's about 3-second deal, but that was only a 300-piece assembly. We have customers that have 65,000-piece assemblies, and on those assemblies, now you're looking at 10 to 15-minute time difference in these systems. So, your old system, yeah, it's 3 years old, it's still fast, it's still a good system, but start looking towards the future.